Welcome to day 4 of my 12 days of Christmas. Okay, so I think my husband is really taking me on a wild goose chase. He said he was pretty sure he saw some pine trees in this area so we could get some pine boughs. But the only thing we have found so far is a machinery graveyard that belonged to my father-in-law, who is a retired potato farmer. Well, it looks like Clark Griswold may have finally found his tree.
Today it is freezing cold. It's about 30 degrees, but it feels like it's about 20 degrees outside. The wind is really, really cold. I have a project. My husband and I are going to do this together. We're going to make a garland for over the top of our doorway at the front of our house. So I have my gloves, wire cutters, snips there for cutting the boughs. And all of the boughs, different kinds. We have cedar, we have some pine, white pine, I'm not sure, just a mix of whatever grows around here. I also have some rope that I'm going to be using. It's camo color. My husband and I found this at a salvage store, fairly inexpensive, $2.99. And we bought 50 feet of it. We only need about 22 feet. And I don't know if you can see this well or not, but it's camo color, so I think it's going to be hidden quite well in the branches and everything. So let's get going on this and we'll show you how it's done. I think I forgot to mention the fact that we also need wire, floral wire, 22 gauge. That's what I'm using anyway. It seems to be heavy enough and tough enough to wrap around here so that it'll stay.
You may not be able to see, but I did use duct tape on the ends of this cord, the rope, just to stop any fraying. I'm going to start this by wrapping the wire around the end of the cord where I'm going to start. Now, this is going to anchor it to this cord, and you'll kind of understand more why as we go along. Now you just want to gather a bundle of greenery, and I also have some red sticks in here. Not sure what kind of tree or shrub that came from, but they look good. I like the pop of red. So you're going to put those on the end of the rope, the cording, and you're going to wrap the wire and pull tightly as you wrap. I usually wrap around 3 times. Sometimes I do 4, but I find 3 does the trick. If you want a really big bushy garland, then use a lot more of a bundle and you know, a bigger bundle of stuff. If you don't want it so big and bushy and you want it a little smaller, just use less greenery when you're adding on to the cording. It's all up to you. What you add is up to you. You can add anything to these. You can add any type of greenery. You can add all one type of greenery if you'd like to. Just play around with it. If you prep beforehand by cutting all of your boughs, all of your greenery into the size that you want, and separate everything out based on the type of greenery that you're using, or berries, or whatever it is, that helps a lot because you can just grab and go. My husband, as usual, is behind the scenes doing all of this for me, so it's going a lot quicker than if I would have been doing this myself. You can see how this is going along here. The amount of, the little bundle that you make is going to determine how thick your garland is. So, and this rope is what you're fastening it to. It is also your guide, just to keep it straight. So I'm just keeping it out here and adding as I go. So you want to put your next bundle on. I don't have a bundle, but I'll show you, so that it's kind of, see where this one ends? This one's going to kind of go like this, so that it kind of covers up the spot that you wired it, but it's not down so far you have a bald spot. You don't want any bald spots. And I am going to go through this with some pine cones that I'm going to pre-wire and then attach those, but I'm going to wait until I finish all of this. I've got a ways to go, as you can see, a little trail here. I'm going to put some pine cones on here, but I want to get them on, get this done so that I can see where I'm putting them so I can distribute them. Okay, we are down to the nitty-gritty, truly. This is just slim pickings here, but I'm going to show you how to finish this. This is what I have left, this little bit here. So to finish this, I'm going to put whatever I have. Okay, I got a little bundle here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it backwards. Finish this. Okay, and put this backwards. And wrap this around. Okay, I'm just throwing whatever I have left on here. I'm going to take this kind of, you can see where I laid this one out here. Just going to kind of tuck it in a little bit. Kind of put a little bit of that under. Get rid of this piece of wood. Just tuck wherever I can. Just to kind of hide that you're at the end. And then wrap. I like to wrap 3 times, but I have to be honest, sometimes I have wrapped 4. Whatever works. Then cut this wire. Look, can't even see it. And wrap it around that little piece of rope. Now we can move on to dressing this beautiful garland up with some pine cones. To tie the pine cones, I am just cutting off a piece of wire about that long. I'm going to wrap it around pine cone and then twist. And then this is what I'm going to put onto the wreath to attach the pine cone, onto the garland. You would do the same if you were making a wreath. These are some apples that I bought on Amazon, I believe. These are styrofoam, and I want to put them on the garland. So what I'm going to do is take a nail. You want to make sure that it's going to go through all the way, so you want to get a nail long enough. And I'm going to poke it through. When I come through the other side, which you kind of want to guide it a little bit, you just want to make sure that you get that hole made big enough, so you want your nail round enough to put a wire through. And that wire, put it through here, because the wire's it's a lot thinner, so it's gonna kind of want to make its own way, unless you make that hole big enough to really go through. Okay, there we go. You're gonna get that all the way through, and basically, same thing we did with the, I hope this isn't blurry for you. Same thing we did with the pine cones. I'm going to twist right at the bottom. We're going to put those on. That is how you do these apples. I'm ready to put the pine cones and apples on the garland. My lips are a little frozen. It's cold out here. So what I like to do is I've gathered them all into a bag, all of my pine cones and apples. And I like to just kind of put them, you know, just arrange them for how I think that I want them. I have 8 pine cones, so whether or not I'll use them all, I don't know. So what I end up with is 1 pine cone and 1 apple. So let me get these tied on, and we'll get this hung up and see what it looks like. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this up. This garland is so beautiful. This is the first time we've ever made our own. We've always bought one. Lowe's usually has a live garland, but you know, for 2 years in a row, we paid $20 for that garland. And this one literally cost just the price of the cording and the wire and our time. I had the apples, I had the pine cones, we cut the greenery. That's all it was. So for less than $10, you can make your own. And you can make it as long as you'd like. This one, I believe, is 22 or 23 feet. I can't remember. I think I said it in the beginning. And it goes all the way down both sides of our doorway and up in the middle a little bit. So it kind of drapes on each corner, and it's just beautiful. I'm so happy with it. My husband is happy with it, and it just gives your home a grand holiday entrance. You can see on the back what this looks like. Here's the rope. It acts like a spine of sorts, a guide, just to keep you straight, and it gives you something pliable to attach your branches and greenery, whatever it is you're putting on here. And it is really pliable as far as, you know, you can manipulate it easy if you want to twist it, if it's kind of turned in a direction you don't want it to turn. I can see at the bottom it is. And I will tell you, I can see the tape where I taped the end, so I'm going to fix that. But this pine cone here, I added. This is where I ended the wreath. I did add another pine cone on there. So in total, I used 8 pine cones and 7 apples. So let's look at the final result.